students, as you know, our book has changed of social science. So today we will start our first chapter from history, when, where and how. Before starting this chapter, we have to revise some of the points what we studied in 6th standard. So if we understand that, it is good to carry on with the same chapter. So first of all, we talk about the introduction part. Here it is written as prehistory. Now what is that? Historians. Historians are the persons, those who are writing the history. For the better understanding, they divided history into two parts, that is prehistory and history. Prehistory was the period when the early humans, the people at that time, they were known as early humans, or we can say nomad people. They don't know how to read or write. They are just wanderers. They are going from one forest to another forest in search of food and water. They don't know how to build a home, so they are staying in caves or rock shelters, etc. So, here at that time, the different phases of Stone Age we learned. So, what are they? The first Stone Age is known as Paleolithic age, or we can say Paleolithic period. Now, in Paleolithic period, we learned that discovery of fire happened. The people of that time, that is the early humans, using stone tools. You can see here, this is the example. Stone tools, we can also say that crude stone, they are using for chopping, cutting, digging the land, for all these purposes. Later on, in Mesolithic period. Mesolithic period, what is the difference between Paleolithic and Mesolithic is, when in the Mesolithic period, the early humans started to using more precise stone that you can see here. More precise, we can say small in size, more sharp. This is also known as microlith. Okay. Now in Neolithic age, we can see that discovery of wheel and pottery also happened. Now, Neolithic is the age or the period we can say it is totally a transition period for the early humans, because at that time they also understand how to do the farming, that means agriculture, and also they used to do the domestication. Farming, that means for the agriculture they started to moving to the banks of river to settle down, because they need more water for that agriculture. So it is benefited to settle down near the banks of river. And domestication is also known as cattle rearing. Different cattle they are rearing for their utilization of the milk products and all. Okay. Now last we discuss about Chalcolithic age. Now this Chalcolithic age is also known as metal age, because with the passage of time they found the metals and they using metal tools instead of the stone tools.
So we already understood about the prehistory and the different stone age, okay, and that we understood in Neolithic age the people started doing the farming, that means agriculture, and I also spoke that for agriculture they need water, okay, so they mostly settle down near on the banks of the river. So here, for example, if we speak about, or we can talk about the ancient civilization, that is Indus Valley civilization. Okay, why it is Indus Valley? Because those early humans settled down on the banks of Indus River for the farming, okay, and later on they formed the civilization. So it is an ancient civilization located now in Pakistan and somewhat the area of northwest of India. So what it suggests, the sources say or suggest that they had a highly developed, we can say highly developed city life. Why? Because they found the traces of many remains of many houses had wells and bathroom, as well as an elaborate underground drainage system. Okay, But later on, this civilization also declined due to some or other reason. It is revealed in the sources. So that is why it's a good example of the ancient civilization. Okay. Now in the next we can understand about the medieval period, because ancient period what we already understood. So now it's the topic is the medieval period. Here in coming chapters we will understand about the early medieval period and the late medieval period. Yes, the medieval period is divided into early and late. Okay, so what we already know that in early that Arabs traders all they were trading with India for the spices, precious stones, pearls, ebony like wood, silk and fine textiles. So these are the things which were traded to the Arab countries. Okay, or we are trading with the Arab countries. And now after some year the Turkish invaders attacked on India. Okay, Turkish invaders, that is Ghazni of Afghanistan belongs to Ghaznavid dynasty. Okay, this king we can say invader invaded India for wealth, and that is of 17 times. Okay, it's between 1000 to 1027 AD. So he attacked for wealth. Okay, and with the invention of their what we can say, with the invention of these people we got a new religion called Islam. Okay, and later on which become the integral part of our culture. Now if we talk about the medieval period, a lot of the dynasties, that means number of dynasties came ruled over different part of India. Among them the three dynasties were very much powerful at that time. They were the Palas, Pratiharas and Rashtrakut. At that time they are controlling the northern India. And apart from northern India, southern India, the Cholas were taking doing their ruling. Okay, later on the Turks attacked India for wealth so many times, and then Mughals contributed their immense heritage of this land with their invention. So if we talk about all these dynasties, in the coming chapters we will discuss about these in detail. So here with what we want to understand right now, that is with the invention of all these dynasties we got a fusion means what? Mixing. Okay, so fusion means mixing, we can say, that is mixing of old and new culture, because whatever the existing culture mixed with the new culture what they brought from the outside countries. For example, we can speak about the food, clothes, art and architectural masterpiece like Taj Mahal or Red Fort. So we also study about trade and commerce. Trade and commerce means what? The next topic, the trade and growth of trade and commerce. Growth of trade and commerce means, well, while ruling of these dynasties, they started doing that trade and commerce. Trade and commerce means business with other countries and also export and import. Export means we can say we are sending or selling our goods to the other countries. Okay, and import means we are importing, we are buying the things from other countries. We are selling the things, that means export to other countries, and we are buying the things from other countries, that is import. So that gave the emergence of the towns at that time. Okay, due to the growth of trade and commerce, the villages converted into towns like Hampi and we can say Masulipattnam. Okay, so some of these changes also occurred in caste system at that time. New tradition, or we can say new tribal groups were formed. In if we talk about the religious development, we will also learn in the coming chapters, we will also learn about Bhakti, Sufism, Sikhism, how these religions got the growth in different parts of our country. Also different languages developed in different regional kingdom also formed, get the independence. Okay, now all these past we can understand. Okay, how we can understand with the sources only. So there are types of sources are there, so we can understand all these past. The historians are the people, those who find all these past and write about them. Now historical sources available in different range. Okay, historical sources means the evidence, we can say the evidences or the proof from which we can understand the past or the history. So with the understanding of the past and history, we can have the idea that how the things were, events were occurred, who were the rulers ruling at that period. Okay, everything with the help of travelers account. Okay, court chronicles, inscription, and we can say calligraphy, like and tombs, monuments, all these are known as sources. With the help of these sources only we can understand how the past was. Now we all if we study the past, we also come to know that our countries' names were changed or referred with different names in different period. Okay, that means the different names refer to our land in different period. For example, we can say in Vedic period, the land between the Vindhyas and Himalaya known as Aryavarth. Aryavarth means the land of Aryans. Okay, and next during the period of Puranas, okay, it is mentioned as Bharatvarsha. And when the Turks came to invade India, we already understand that the Turks invaded India for the wealth. At that time they given the name as Hindustan. Okay, at that time Hindustan referred to the area around, that is nearby the area of Indus river, because they came with they came to India with the help of Indus river only. And in Mughal era, or we can say in Mughal period, we can say that they called as Hindustan. Later on in Sanskrit literature means the written works of Sanskrit, our country is mentioned as Bharat. So now in our Indian constitution also we use both India and Bharat to describe our country. Okay, now sources. Now next topic is sources of history. Now sources of history means evidence of history. Okay, evidence means proofs also, we can say. With the different proof or different sources we can understand how the past was. Okay, how the past was, and we can say with the help of coins, paintings, written works, inscription. These are the different sources. So these sources either in the form of literary or archaeological. Okay, and now first we start with the literary sources. Now what is literary sources? Literary sources are nothing but which we get the data in a written format. Okay, so whatever the data we received in a written format, that is our literary source. So first we talk with the court chronicles. Now what is that? Here the historians, that means the persons who are writing the past, they got lots of information by knowing or reading the court chronicles. Now the court chronicles were written by the court scholars. Okay, the scholars means the persons who are well educated and well having the idea about the particular subject. So these accounts were written by the court historians and poet at that time about the king and the kingdom where they lived. Okay, such records is called court chronicles. For example, we can take Minhaj as Siraj Tabakat-e Nasiri, given us the information about So it gives the information about the Delhi Sultanate. So whatever means the rulers ruled over Delhi and made Delhi as their capital. So all these information you can get from this book. Next is Abdul Fazl's An-i Akbari or and Akbarnama. So these tells about Akbar's region. Okay, so how the Akbar managed his all over the kingdom, how they centralized administration, everything. Now many more we can say. It is also said that most of these sources shows disproportion of matters. Disproportion means whatever the matter is, they are showing like more enlarged. So but historians still they utilize these books for the understanding of law or military campaign undertaken at that period. Now next we move with the memoirs or autobiographies. Memoirs and autobiography means same only. The rulers written their own life histories. Okay, that means the king he himself written about his life history. For example, we can take Babarnama by Babar, Jahangir's Jahangirnama. It gives us the observation of the king about his kingdom, his people, all over the administration of particular kingdom. Now we will take the next topic, that is accounts of travelers. Now what is that? Accounts of travelers. Many foreign travelers or we can say many travelers outside from India visited India during the different period, okay, and wrote their experience in the particular kingdom. Okay, so historians give more importance to these sources. For example, we can say Al-Burani who visited India during the rule of Muhammad of Ghazni in 11th century. Some others like Ibn Battuta of Morocco, Nicola Conti of Italy, etc. So these were the foreigners, those who visited during the period of their kingdom, and they wrote about the different thing like the ruler's name, they belong to which dynasties, how many battles they won, which areas are there included in their kingdom, conditions of the people, those who living in that particular kingdom. So some more European travelers also came to India in 16th century also. They described the condition of people, trade and commerce, that means trade and business, etc. For example, Barbosa, Ralph Fitch, Thomas Roy, etc. So from this what we understand, that these people came in India, written the court matters, the culture, about the people, the administration system, the military system, etc. So that we can get a clear idea about the past of this medieval period.